Okay, you back? Did you think of some things? If you haven't thought of all three things yet, that's okay. You're going to have more time. But let's go ahead and get started. What's one thing that you're going to thank your person for? One thing I'm going to thank my kids for is my kids do chores at home, and I love it when they do that. I love when they do their chores. They make their beds, they walk the dog. They do lots and lots and lots of chores for me. It's real helpful. So I'm thankful that they do chores. So on one of my arms, I'm not going to write my kids do chores. I'm just going to write one word to remember how I want to build that detail. I'm just going to write this word. There's one of my details I'm going to build. But I'm not going to do it yet because I'm going to finish brainstorming first. So let's see, what else do I thank my kids for? I really, really like it when my kids use these. Anybody read it? And the last thing I'm thankful to my kids for is I'm thankful when they, gosh, there's so many things I can't decide. I think I'm going to go with this one. Even though this is kind of like the chores one, it's a little bit different, and I think I can make it different in a detail and make it interesting. So I like when my kids take care of the pets at our house because we have a lot of pets, and it's kind of gets to be too much work for one person. So 3 things I'm thankful for, there they are. Go ahead and write your 3 things. Now, go. Okay, got your 3 things? Here's the cool part. This is the part I love the most about this writing trick. Because here's what we're going to do. We are going to build a paragraph. How many sentences in a paragraph usually? And a letter is a little bit different, but does anybody in this room know how many sentences there are in a paragraph? If you said 5, you are right. First sentence is always the opening, and we already have ours. It's our greeting. It's not really a complete sentence in a letter, is it? And what are the next 3 sentences? There are 3, so you probably can figure it. The next 3 sentences are going to be details, so let's build them. I think I want to build my weakest detail first and save my strongest one for last because I think that'll be a powerful way to write. So which one of these do I think is strongest? They're all kind of the same. I think I'm going to save the manners one for last because I think that's a hard one. So I think I'm going to go like this. I'm going to put some numbers on here. I'm going to build the chores one first. I'm going to build pets, my number 2. And for my number 3 grand finale, I'm going to build the manners detail. Okay, we are ready. Let's build detail 1. And I see a sign here that says detail 1. Oh, wait a minute. Before we start, is everybody's first detail going to have exactly the same number of words and be exactly the same size? Of course not. So your detail might go all the way to the end of this line. It might be 2 lines long, might be 3, might not even be 1 whole line. We're all going to have a different one. So even though it says detail down here for your second one, you might be starting somewhere slightly different. Those arrows just give you an idea about where to put your details. So let's build. First detail, what's mine about? Mine's about chores. What's yours about? What's your number 1 detail going to be? Go find it. Okay, now think of a thank you thing that you can say about your number 1 detail. And this should better be pretty good because it's going to be the very first sentence in your letter. It's going to be a thank you about this detail. Let's see. I think I'm going to go ahead and use the word thank you since it's the first time. So I think I'll build my chore detail now. You go ahead and build your detail too, and then we'll compare. So I'm building mine. Thank you for doing chores. Thank you for doing chores. Could I stop right there and put a period? Sure. But I want more. I want to make it a little more interesting, so I want to snap some more stuff on there. So I'm going to use without. Thank you for doing chores without complaining. That's more powerful. End of sentence. Boom. Period. I even circle it sometimes so I know. There it is. Thank you for doing chores without complaining. You go ahead now if you're not finished, and I'm sure you're not because we just started. Go ahead and build your first detail. Go. Are we all going to be finished at the same time? Of course not. Of course not. It's just like brains. Writers, every single writer is different, and every single writer has a different speed. So if you're not finished yet, don't be concerned. You'll have time later, but you've got a good start. Okay, go into your number 2 detail. Should you do the exact same thing? Again, thank you for, and my number 2 would be pets. I could say thank you for taking care of the pets, but that's boring. I already said thank you for. Let's do something more powerful. So for my number 2 chore, it's pets. I'm going to use thoughtful this time. I'm done with chores. I'm checking it off. I'm going to my number 2 detail about pets, and I'm going to build it right now. I'm going to say, it's thoughtful when you take care of pets at home. Here's my number 2 detail. I didn't circle my period this time. I'm done. Check it off. And I'm ready for the grand finale. My number 3 detail, it's about manners. It's the last one, so I want to make it the best one. I saved the best for last. Manners. I think I'm going to say, most of all, I appreciate when you use nice manners. I like that. Most of all, and look, I don't have enough room. It's okay, because we're going to this is just your draft, and you're going to be actually finding mistakes in here and fixing them and rewriting this in your neatest writing. So this is just your kind of sloppy copy, they call it sometimes. So it doesn't matter if you go down underneath the line, or you could even flip your paper and work on the back. Most of all, I'm going to say, I appreciate, I'm going to squish that word. I appreciate when you use nice manners. Boy, you can see why it's called a sloppy copy. Mine is sloppy. Hopefully I'll be able to do my final a little bit neater, because my kids might have a tough time even reading this. But it's not for them yet. This is the copy for me, because really, this is not the brainstorm now. You just finished this. Your draft. You just finished your draft, and we didn't even know it. We did the brainstorming, and we got the whole draft finished. Pretty easy. And how do we know it's a finished draft? Well, because it's now a complete paragraph. You've got an opener. You've got 1, 2, 3 details, and you've got number 5, your closer. We already have that. That's our love, mom in my case. So that's 5 sentences in a paragraph. Your paragraph is complete. Your draft is complete. You are ready for step 3, revise. Good luck.